Hello, Michael and Maria. It is so good to see you on here. Thank you so much for coming on. Now, you've been clients of mine like for the last 6 months, and it's just been, one amazing journey. And it's so funny because last night we were on with our group of clients and I'm going, any wins? And you just don't say anything. And then at the end, there's this massive talking about your journey. And I said, I want people to hear about this journey. So if you just want to introduce yourself, like how you got here, and remember that story, Michael, about the dinner, because that's really good. I just want to put, if you don't tell that story about the dinner, I will.
Dinner.
What dinner?
What dinner?
About how you started your dinner one evening and how you ended the dinner. So if you want to introduce yourselves.
I'm Maria.
And I'm Mike.
And I was managing a company last year. I was a registered manager for a care provider, and it wasn't our company, but we managed it for somebody else for 9 years. And we had this feeling from the beginning of the year that we wanted to start something that had a purpose to improve the community and improve people's lives. So we would have to have something with a legal entity that was different to a private company. So any profits would go back into benefiting the staff in the community that it worked in. But when you get dragged into the day job, you have this idea and then it just dissipates and goes away. Well, COVID occurred. It was a strange year. My daughter went away to a caravan with a little boy that they had, and there was a chance meeting between her and this gentleman, and it came through 2 children coming together, our grandson helping his little boy, and a conversation struck up about, well, what do you do for a job? And he said, well, I set Kicks up, which is a community interest company. And as soon as Catherine heard that, she says, you need to talk to my mum. And so when she came back, she told me, and rather than just procrastinate, I actually text this guy called Marvin, texting and said, look, I'm Maria, and you've met my daughter, and we've been really thinking about doing this for a while. We'd love to meet you and have a chat. So we arranged to see him the next time he was up in the northeast of England. Saw him about 10 days later. I had a chat with him. We're really energized and excited about this. And he said, you really need to go and see somebody that I've assisted and I'm still in contact with. So he gave us his name, and we arranged to meet this man on the 4th of September. Anyway, I knew that the owner of the company was wanting to retire, the company that we worked for. And I had a few meetings with the accountant, and he didn't know how he was going to wind the company up. But I thought, oh, well, he doesn't reach a certain age until the back end of 2020. So I've got quite a few months yet. Anyway, I went home that night from a meeting with the accountant, and we were sitting eating my tea. And I got a text message through on WhatsApp. And the message said, Maria, I want you, when you go to the office tomorrow, I want you to get me laminator and me projector and anything else you think I should have before the administrator comes in. And I looked at it and thought, oh my God, what have you done? And so I texted him back and said, what exactly have you done? Oh, I've signed all the papers for the company to close. Well, I'm in the middle of eating my dinner, and I rang the administrator and said, what's going on here? And she gave us instructions, and she says, oh, by the way, anybody who was on furlough is immediately redundant. So poor Michael was sitting eating his dinner. At the start of eating his dinner, he had a job within 5 minutes, and by the time he finished his dinner, he didn't have a one. So I was sitting there in complete and utter shock that this company would be being wound up really quickly. And so the next morning, we had this planned meeting with this gentleman who Marvin had suggested to us. So I was thinking to myself, we thought we were going to have this lovely, gentle meeting with him and just go along and see what he did and would it be fit in with what we were interested in and what information we could share. The whole focus of this meeting changed because we worked in a regulated activity and I was a manager, regulated manager. I had to contact CQC, so I wasn't in control of the process that would then go on from me informing them that the company was closing, because we had to inform them, we had to work with the clients to see if they wanted other providers to look after them, and then I hadn't even considered how I was going to talk to 20 odd staff, because the lovely owner of the company had dumped this on my lap. Even though it wasn't my company, I had to deal with all of this. And I was completely overwhelmed thinking, what am I going to do with this?
And I can't believe, Maria, that actually, because this is the time that you had reached out to me. And actually, you know, for what you could have been going through and, you know, you could have been ranting and raving. I didn't actually realize the full gravity of it, because you two are just so like lovely in your spirit and like taking things almost in your stride and not showing what you're really going through. And so I had no idea just to the depth of what it was you were actually dealing with. But then that's whenever you reached out to me.
Well, I mean, from then, I mean, there were a couple of trigger points, to put it mildly. From the 3rd of September and to the 20th, that was the gap, the window, 17 days from from getting the news that this company's closing to when the staff worked their final day, 17 days. And that on the Thursday, when we found out about this, the 3rd of September, over that weekend, we had the terrible job of being the grim reapers, telling everybody, oh, your service is going to come to an end. Oh, by the way, staff, you're not going to have a job. And the response we got from the clients and the staff was so overwhelming, because even though they knew that this business that connected us all together was coming to an end, they didn't want the relationship to end. And so that then gave me the agenda, if you like, to go ahead and think, right, what can we do to keep all of this together? There was the next few days when we had to have a proper staff meeting. I almost felt that something was working through me, because the words that were coming out my mouth, I hadn't really thought about logically, but and a friend of mine was there to assist the staff, because we knew there'd be emotional fallout. And she said, where did that come from? I said, I've got absolutely no idea where this came from. But what I said to them that day came together, fit together. And the staff and the clients, as far as they're concerned, there's been no material change. They still turn up and work with the same people in their home, care for them. They get a really fantastic service. And we set the ball rolling for a company starting, Prism, Care Northeast, and that was registered on the 15th of September. And the company has just gone from strength to strength. I mean, we didn't have any vision or idea where the money was going to come from. Had we sat and focused on that, we probably wouldn't have done anything out of fear. But we've managed to generate the income and set a company up from nothing that belongs to the community. Doesn't belong to me and Michael. We are the vehicle for it happening. And this business belongs to the service users, the staff, and the community that we're working. And we're hoping that it will expand even more. I mean, you know, as I said last night, somebody said, oh, you know, don't worry, on the 3rd of September, don't worry, this company's shutting and another door is going to open and the company will have generated, you know, a couple of £100,000 by, you know, the beginning of next year. I would have been looking and thinking, do you think I'm stupid? Right, where I'm at now, do you really think I'm going to buy into that? It isn't until you look in the rear view mirror and remind yourself of that, you know, we've got an office, We've got all the equipment. There's no debt. It's all paid for. The company I managed was always in debt.
Mhm.
We've started off with a completely different purpose, vision, and it is successful. And something that I have to pinch myself to think, God, I've been involved in that. And it's, you know, we got in touch with you because I didn't finish working for the company till the 30th of September. I had to help the administrator. And Michael knew I was in a bad place really in the October. And so that first specific meeting with you, because Michael had been watching you all the way through September, and he knows the stuff that I've read and tapped into over the years, we both have. And that meeting on that Saturday morning, it was the 16th of October, and that was a key turning point for us when we joined up for Thinking Into Results. And it just confirmed, it brought everything together and kind of linked it all up. And, you know, the past 5 months has been a roller coaster in many ways, but we've gone from feeling on our own and like, where the hell do we go from here, to having a network in the area where you live that is at the minute about 30 strong of like-minded people wanting to create and improve health and well-being in our area and employing people so that their lives improve and that they thrive and they're not dependent and they have control of their lives and they see positive role models that they can look at and think, well, if they did it, I can do it.
I just
Right.
love the statement that we were talking about this morning. Your vision will dictate who you will attract into your life. And I mean, if you two aren't that vision of that, you know, like your vision has just literally brought people in, but you still have to go out there. I mean, it's like they say, the good Lord provides the worms for the birds, but the bird has to go and flipping do something with it to, you know, to get it. It's all there, but you have to go and do something to get it. What I'd love to do is for you to also share, is there some help that you want? Because I know that you want to take this like nationwide and not just where you are, because I know, Michael, you were saying about, you know, there's something else that you're doing with health and well-being, and there's like, you know, you started with one person, then there's now 30 people, and this is something you want to take this worldwide, just in case anybody's watching this, because this is what it's all about, isn't it? You know, like it just, I don't know how you can say it, that people would just go, well, I want to be part of that. I don't know what you could say.
Well, what I'm looking for, you can recognize everybody has a gift, but there's a lot of people out there, not just through COVID, but from other factors. They may be bereaved, they might be looking after somebody who's got a disability. There's a lot of people out there with dementia. There's a lot of carers out there. And it's up to us to recognize that they have a special gift. And what I want to provide is a platform. I've created a company called Tyne Valley Health and Wellbeing, and I want to attract people in, bring them in, give them something. It may just be gardening, could be going out for walks, just giving them a platform to talk about the problems they're having at the time, finding out where they're at in their lives, and then setting them off on a journey of improvement. Improvement is different for each individual. The journey that they want to follow, it is for all. Our journey's been completely different to some of the people who are on this journey with you with. And it's just, it's hard for me to put it. I've got a vision, and the vision is that great because when I talk to our partners, the things that they get it straight away. We can create something extremely good for the community that brings wealth back into the community. They don't have to go anywhere. We can provide cafes. It's endless.
Endless, I know. Well, if people can feel that, if anybody's watching this and can feel, you know, oh my goodness, there's something in there, I want to talk more, then obviously
there's a number of people, these 30 people, that share bits of the vision, you know, like the baits that Bob was on about. they're doing, like we are doing particular parts of it, right? And the community can come together. When we talk about community, we're talking about people who are normally isolated at home. They're carers. You can have children who are going through difficult times at home, particularly during, you know, the lockdown that we've had. And so they're trying to find a place where they're accepted and they're seen for the gifts that they have, right? And we're trying to promote that. But when all of these people come together, the offer is so big and it's for the right reasons. It's not about doing it as a volunteer and doing it for nothing. It's about creating an income, but there's nothing to stop what we've created together in the Northeast
being rolled out,
being like a cookie cutter. That's what I refer to it as, a cookie cutter, right? You've got this model, a template. You can go to another area, meet people in that area who are similar minded to us, right? Like-minded to us. And you know, make them enthused with the same idea, right? Energize them and get them to realize that they are their best solution, right? A pill in a bottle isn't their solution. Alcohol in a bottle isn't their solution. They are looking in the mirror. They are their solution to their problem. And there's a lot of people out there who will feel exactly the same, that they've got nobody else who knows what they're going through, but everybody is behind closed doors. But if we come out and we join together and we share our knowledge, gifts and skills, we can improve the environment that we live in. And so that's what, you know, we're hoping we can do. I mean, we've worked, we have both worked as consultants in Birmingham and Nottingham. We've done small bits of work down there for the company that we worked for before we're made redundant. And the stuff that we did, what we brought, was very well received. Mm-hmm. And because of the care work that we've done, there's people who come to the Northeast and want our service when they're visiting family. And obviously we get to talk with them. And this, you know, they come from all areas of the country and they know that the values that we hold dear to us, they wish there was something like that in their area. Now, we're using those same values that we've used for 9 years in a care company to then develop a prison care as a kick. Michael's got Tyne Valley Health and Wellbeing. I've got Mindcraft, which is people coming together to do creative craft to improve their mental health and wellbeing. But through these vehicles, we want them to go off and develop their own skills so that they can have their own enterprises, right? Create this community.
Yeah, I would just love anybody who's watching this who feels like inspired from what Maria and Michael have, you know, have actually said and what they're creating in their own area, because I know that there will be out there, and you think that you can't do it, but one person can multiply into 30 people so quickly. And so I loved what you said. It's actually, when you look back, you connect the dots, but if you were to look forward, you'd go, not a chance in hell. Well, I wonder who else would want to be able to say in 5 months, what the heck is possible? So I just want to, you know, I just blew me away, the story last night, and going, what? I didn't even know this. This is so quiet. They keep it quiet, let me tell you. They're just so wonderful, everybody who's watching. So I'm sure they would be loving, you know, anybody to reach out to them if there's something that you want to develop, something similar in your own area. And but that's it for now. I just wanted to get your story out there and share it for now. I'm looking in the next 5 months and we're going to share it again. Like, I wonder what's going to be there. So don't go anywhere. I'm just going to stop the recording, and but bye for now.